So I want to ask you a few questions about kind of a journey of having this startup. Because you have a very unique profile, right? You're working at your early careers are in large companies, and now you do startup. How did it feel? Like I remember last time I was interviewing you, we talked about making this leap of faith, right? And
I still feel that way.
When were you like most unsure, most?
I mean, I think you can never eliminate that. I will just be honest, right? There are times when I wake up when I feel so happy, excited about the possibilities, the positive possibilities about Statsig. And then there are days when I wake up and I'm like, there are 45 people that work at Statsig, and they all have families. Some of them have kids. And so now all of the livelihoods of everything is dependent on the success of this company, which puts a lot of pressure. And so some days those things are like, weighs down, right? As a founder, you're responsible for building something that people believe in. People have invested their time and their families.
I feel like making decisions about products are easy actually. If you work at a large company, if you want to cut some product, you can make the decision right away. It's very difficult when it involves people.
So it's a never-ending thing. So there's a spectrum of possibilities in a startup. On the one end of the spectrum, you can make a bad decision that could impact the product, and we could go bankrupt right away. We could have a security issue, and that could just kill our business instantly. The possibility is still there. It's a non-zero probability. Our goal is to reduce that to as close to zero as possible. And on the other end of the spectrum is that, our startup just goes really successful someday, 4 or 5 years from now. We are all very successful. We're all very happy. And then that probability, even though it's non-zero, it's a tiny probability, but we're all trying very hard to increase that probability. So but what gets me up every day, waking up and getting excited and coming into work is the middle. The middle is where I get to do really valuable, really exciting work with really amazing people. It's kind of like one of those zero overhead. You get to come in, you're productive, you come excited, you leave exhausted. In the middle, you're so productive. That's what drives you every day. Like every single day you wake up and you want to do that, right? And that's what is exciting about a startup. I think I told you the last time, if you're an entirely rational person, you wouldn't want to join a startup. The expected outcome of a startup, when you add all the risk in there, it's kind of like, less than what you would do in a big company.
Depends. I feel like the rational is about the financial income. You're talking about the financial income. But rational, I think, also means knowing yourself. And you just said, right?
I think you're right. Absolutely. So I think so there's an element of people that choose startups choose it for non-monetary reasons. Because if you're only choosing it for monetary reasons, you shouldn't. So
the expected outcome is not.
Right. So you would choose a startup because you like the people that you want to work, and you're excited by the mission of the startup. You want to have a much larger impact. You want to learn more. Those are kind of like the factors that go into why would someone join a startup? And that's kind of that fundamentally that drives you to go be here in a place like Statsig.
Nice. So all good experiences, even the bad experiences or the fearful experiences, are the good part of the
absolutely journey. No, I mean, I will remember this till the rest of my life, right? These are memories that we're making. Every single thing that we do here, every decision we make, whether good or bad, we'll learn. But the idea is that I believe I'm making memories that I'll remember forever.
Nice. I couldn't detect any difference between now and I think last time we did the interview was 15 months ago. Do you notice any difference? Yourself?
No, I think I'm still just as excited as I was about the prospects and the future of Statsig. And obviously the last time we didn't have customers. Now we have customers, so there's a validation about the product that is really good and fulfilling. And so that's always good. Now, obviously, we've grown quite a bit, so we're now more, I guess, like larger and more mature, and so we're making process decisions and things like that. So I think like we've just moved on to, I would say, stage number 2 from stage number 1 when we were talking before.
What's stage number 2?
I'm just making it up. It's like,
I feel like stage number 1 is fighting for survival.
Yeah.
Just all energy is into building the product, but stage number 2, you probably need to think about management. But you are very good at this
process and structure.
Yeah.
The other thing, which is fundamentally important, is when you're that early, the last time we spoke, you build products in vacuum, where you have an idea that you believe is the right, direction for the product. But what we're doing now is very different from what we did before, because now a lot of the features and the roadmap is directed by what our customers are asking for and what our customers are needing. And so while we do have vision for their areas that we invest kind of future product areas, a lot of the existing products and then the evolution of that is driven by feedback. And our customers are giving some amazing feedback. So, which is great, because sometimes you can't go too long in a vacuum. You want to actually get feedback, and then that feeds in.
Yeah, I interviewed a veteran in to be business in Silicon Valley. He was the VP at VMware. And he built the network structure there. But he's also a serious entrepreneur and investor. And he talked about how I had a specific question for him. Product market fit. He emphasized the importance of product market fit, which I resonate a lot. Yeah. But the question was, do people usually find product market fit right away, or do they have to pivot many times to find it? I guess my question to you is, what is our biggest pivot? How do you feel about that?
One of the good things about Statsig was that we used all these products inside, or these tools inside Facebook, right?
You kind of know the destination.
Yeah, so we kind of, skipped one of the steps of actually, what should we build? Because we knew what to build. We knew how people inside Facebook used these products and how they evolved and how it scaled. Yeah. So a lot of the learnings, basically, or early stage, product development was driven by the learnings that we had from Facebook. So in a way, we were fortunate enough to have that kind of insight.
You were the customers.
Correct.
Now
we're kind of building it for other people. Yeah. So it became a much easier problem for us. I mean, if other people are building stuff like that, more power for them, because it's good. Yeah. That's you save a whole bunch of back and forth and a lot of pivots. But since then, we've also added a bunch of features that didn't exist inside Facebook tools. Things along the lines of reviews, visual diffs of feature gates and visual diffs of experiments, and then auditing of these reviews, what people are changing across the board, and then who gets control, who acts. Those are things that companies want.
Yeah, I feel like those are real demands that not, just because Facebook culture and how teams are set up.
I think the culture at Facebook is anyone can go modify anything, right? Yeah. I think at that point we were kind of engineers made the right calls, and the judgment was there. Yeah. And then here, it's a little bit the companies that we work with, they care about there should be a process, and that should go through this process, and there should be one person that actually reviews all of that and approves. And so they asked for those kind of tools, and we built them.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. How is answer about pivoting is the technical insights was always there. Those are rarely pivoted or getting pivot. But the pivot really is how do you find a customer? Yeah. How who is a customer and how to pitch them?
Yeah. And sometimes you'll be surprised how different each customer is and what they focus on, what kind of areas that they focus on, and then sometimes you have to build it to earn their business.
All right. My last question about kind of still the challenges of running a to-B software is sometimes I think there is a trade-off. Do you want to spend more time and resource optimize your product, or do you want to spend more resource answering our customers' specific need, customize? How do you do that, balance that?
Yeah, initially when we had only like a few customers, we were basically like addressing every single customer needs. Now, one thing to keep in mind is like when a customer asks for a feature, I think you can also quickly identify if this is something that is going to be valuable for all the other customers, and at which point we prioritize that much higher, or is this something that is valuable only for the specific user or customer because of their unique needs. In those cases, what we ended up, we quickly understood. Like we didn't know about this. We learned it along the way.
But you can tell right away. Yeah.
And then so we generally prioritize the ones that are beneficial for a larger set of customers than the other ones. Sometimes we throw them into the back burner, and sometimes we talk to them how important is it, when do you want this by, and then we can work through. Now that we have a broad set of customers, we generally put everything into the our backlog, and then we prioritize that as a kind of like a global prioritization of who wants this, and how many people want this, and when should we build this, does it make sense, and so on. Now it is important to your product roadmap should not entirely be controlled only by customer requests.
Of course.
So I think we have thirds. So 1/3 is driven entirely by customers. 1/3 is driven by what we believe is the next level or next level of sophistication for the existing tools that may not be driven entirely by customers. Yeah. And the third one is completely new areas of exploration. So we recently launched Events Explorer, which is basically Scuba inside Facebook. So it's a real-time query engine. So what we do is we take the data.
You have that as well.
So we take all of the data inside that the customers have, and then we sample it. And then we take the sample data and we put it in physical RAM, and then we put a query engine on top of physical RAM. So that way you can ask questions, and then instead of waiting 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get sub-second results.
Yeah.
And the interesting benefit of a sub-second result is that you can ask a lot more questions, and you can quickly identify anomalies which are masked by averages, which is a good way to debug stuff. Scuba is so powerful, and I can't imagine living without Scuba, right? And so the idea is that nobody asked for it, but we built it, because that's the new area that as long as we continue expanding the surface area, we're going to be adding value to our customers.
Yeah, I have this painful expressions because I'm jealous of people who get to use this kind of tools.
Yeah,
the infrastructure of big companies sometimes are just lacking.
No, I think it's so. I think just the fact that Facebook invested so much in infrastructure and had the foresight to put some of the best engineers on the internal tools is unique. Yeah. I don't see that in many companies. Yeah. And that's basically when we build these, there are about 20 tools inside Facebook that we want to build. Yeah. I think we're at 3 or 4 right now. And the possibilities are endless as long as the team continues to just crank out features so fast. I think over the next year or so, we'll have a pretty broad set of tools. Yeah.
Sorry, I mentioned last question, but I have one more question.
No worries.
Data quality of your customers.
Yeah.
I feel being able to run good A/B testing is heavily dependent on the quality of data.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And for most companies, if they don't have the right infrastructure, they don't have good data quality, then how do they?
Yeah, I think garbage in, garbage out, right? Yeah. So you want to be careful about what you put in. So there are several ways in which we ingest data from our customers. Obviously, if you already have a data warehouse, so we can ingest data directly from whether it's Snowflake or Redshift or BigQuery, we can pull that from there. Oh. Or the other way is if you have an integration with any kind of a CDP platform, so Segment or Heap or RouterStack or one of those things, you already have a pipe where the data is flowing through. We can also ingest from there. Now, if you don't have any of those already, we make it easy for you to take our SDK. and then actually send raw events directly to us. So we make it easy so the data actually is sane, and the data is actually valid and not garbage. So whichever path our customers are willing to go, we're happy to go with them. So typically what happens is we do proof of concept with an if somebody wants to try and use Statsig, we sit down with them. Our team does a hackathon, depending on where the data is. And if the data doesn't currently exist, we work with them on integrating our SDK. So we take great care in making sure that the data that comes in is actually good data. Because at the end of the day, if we don't get good data, then we're going to tell you all kinds of bad things, and that it's not good for anyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and visiting Statsig.
Yeah, it's very nice to have this rare opportunity to witness growth, and I wish Statsig becomes very big, and it can unleash the power of the data science.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Knock on wood. I hope it comes true. You're welcome again anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.